Breaking Britney Spears news. Her attorney has just filed for an immediate suspension of dad Jamie Spears from the conservatorship in new court documents, which I have obtained and read. And oh man, free Britney fam, you're going to love this Lou Taylor shout out. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore, and man, this is a doozy. All right, well, what does this mean? There's new court documents that just were filed. It's breaking all over, demanding this immediate suspension of dad Jamie. Well, look, from what I've gathered, I'm not an attorney, take this as real, but I've done my due diligence in this, and I've been listening to some other experts online who have been speaking about this. This is an attempt to just speed things up, is really what we have here. But not only just an attempt to speed things up, but an attempt to show that this is going to cause harm to Britney if they keep waiting. The next trial was supposed to be at the end of September, and this document is pretty much telling the court, we can't wait that long. Why are we waiting? There's no reason we should be waiting. And I'm going to scroll through and break down some of the most important moments. But the two juiciest moments, the two juiciest things that we're going to get into, her dad tried to stop her from that Hawaii vacation. I mean, insane to me how much they're working. They were like, you're not allowed to go on vacation. You have to keep working, Britney. Like literally, she went to Hawaii for a week, which she hasn't done. She admitted she hasn't done in forever. And with her own finances, they're like, nope, you can't go on vacation in Hawaii. We must be more thrifty. You must go out and practice. This man is a monster. The biggest T. Oh, Miss Lou Taylor. Well, I'm not accusing you of anything in this video, but your name's going to start becoming more and more prevalent out there. So I hope you're ready. Karma. Man, Britney's not the only bitch. Karma's one too. And man, it is coming for you. I believe, allegedly. Who's Lou Taylor? Look, I'm working on a video on this. I've been holding off on this, but it's coming now. It feels even more relevant than ever. So stay tuned. We will get into who Lou Taylor is, and when I get through this document, you'll learn a bit more. But there's a lot there. And if anybody out there has information about her or wants to add, please submit it to me because it's coming soon. Also, if you're a lawyer out there that wants to help, sometimes I have some amazing guests that collab on here, but they're not always available. If there's any other lawyers or attorneys out there that would like to come on here and help to go through these documents with me when I need help, please hit me up on the social media right there. Always appreciate it. While I'm talking to you, before we break this down, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell for all alerts so you get notified of this breaking news. Smash the like button and leave a comment down below. It helps tremendously. We will be live tonight talking about this as well as other fun stuff. So join us and be part of the Popcorned Planeteer community here on Popcorn Planet, popcornplanet.com. So a little plug there. All right, now let's break this down. Let's get to this document. Let's read the most important parts of this, okay? This one's not as long as the typical ones, so we can get through this. And I've already sped through a lot of this to sort of highlight the most important parts. But really right here, it's just take notice. This is sort of the setup and summary of how they would like to remove James P. Spears as conservator and instead appoint Jason Rubin as temporary conservator pending hearing presently set for September 29th. Anyway, a bunch of legalese stuff that gets to it, but then they get to their points as to why. This application seeks uncontroversial relief, which is in the best interest of Miss Spears and should be supported by conservator of the estate, James P. Spears. And they do this a lot. They're like, he should approve of this. His whole role is to be in her best interests, and she doesn't want you there. And every expert has said they don't want you there and that you're not supposed to be there. You should be stepping down if you are in fact doing things for her best interest. So they're really putting them up against a wall, and I really like that. The only thing that's frustrating here is they're will permit on or after August 23rd. Like, no, how about now? Let's get this. No, we need to move faster. I don't know, why is it taking so long? And they're like, yeah, well, we can still wait the month. But they're the real goal is here is trying to get Jamie to just step down would be the first amazing step. If he still refuses to, which he's done so far, he's refusing to step down. He's trying to ask the court, guys, we can't wait for him to step down. This is too big. So let's get to one of the examples that Britney and her lawyer are putting out there. Conversely, every day that passes is another day of avoidable harm and prejudice to Miss Spears and the estate. Further, all interested parties forcefully agree that Mr. Spears' continued presence as conservator of the estate is contrary to Britney's best interest, health, and well-being, and that his prompt removal, or at least his immediate suspension, is critical. Bold, italic, underlined. They used all three, guys, at this juncture. In short, the time has come for Mr. Spears' reign to end. And he's just some polite stuff like, look, we're just trying to get whatever the court calendar permits, blah, 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 blah. If Mr. Spears chooses to put his own self-interest first by opposing his ultimate removal, thereby putting himself at risk for attorney's fees, wink, wink, you're going to have to pay for those fees, Jamie. They're getting in this of saying, well, can't we do something now? There's already substantial record warning the suspension now, should he seek to promote delay by opposing this application, and that delay would speak volumes. Good cause already exists, is what they say here. Miss Spears described the trauma and abuse she had endured under the control of her father and those beholden to him, several of whom are being enriched from monies getting paid earned by Miss Spears, Britney, without her actual consent. I really like the use of the word there. This is all happening without her knowledge, without her approval, and this sort of idea that what is she, in a vegetable? Because that's sort of what they're sort of treating her as, that she's like unable to make decisions for herself or anybody, but the fact that she can go work and do everything else, it's mind-blowing what they still think they're going to get away with. Now that the public eye is on this, everyone's screaming free Britney, and they're like, still, no, what we're doing is right. What we're doing is right. The Ben Shapiro's in the world saying, well, we don't know. Hello, Britney said it herself. Enough is enough. I don't understand what we're waiting for. Britney wants that stuff released. Britney herself's voice and now her attorney are out there vocally defending to get her life back. We have to listen now. And so now the firm's like, we can't wait for this. This isn't, she feels dead and like she doesn't matter under Mr. Spears' reign. So here we go. It even says Jody Montgomery has said Mr. Spears' removal, Jamie Spears' removal is critical to Britney's emotional health and well-being and in the best interest of the conservatee. Again, very key points there. What's in her best interest? They got everybody to commit to say it's not Jamie. Miss Montgomery joins the nomination of Jason Rubin. That's the person they want to replace Jamie. And they're even saying, look, her current conservator of health, person agrees. Yeah, this guy seems great. So in theory, Miss Montgomery, as a third-party person who's already been approved by Jamie, etc., you'd think her approval would matter, right? So what are we delaying for? What's this wait? Why are we all waiting? Everyone is saying get rid of Jamie. This is basically what this document is doing. Her own medical team agrees that it's not in the best interest of the conservatee for Mr. Spears to be and remain conservative of the state. What took so long? Why did this take so long? Why is it still taking this long? It's so frustrating. And so here we go. Lynn Spears they even got Lynn, who's a snake in my mind. I'm sorry, it's a little too late for me, but there must have been something behind the scenes. I'm only imagining, allegedly, my recreation of that reenactment of, Mom, if you don't do this, you are dead to me and my kids forever. Shut up, step up, and now speak the truth. And it really does feel like something finally told her, if you want to still have a relationship and get anything in the Britney Spears world, you better speak up now. So now she is. It is clear to me that James P. Spears is incapable of putting my daughter's interest ahead of his own on both a professional and a personal level, and this being and that his being and remaining conservator of my daughter's estate is not in the best interest of my daughter, the conservatee. There you go. Finally, getting her to say it, which she has avoided for so long. She's been defensive. That's why I don't trust her. Mr. Spears' removal is necessary. So they reiterate a lot of this. So all the same people, they're sort of reiterating what we've already heard. There is some new stuff coming. Stay tuned. If Mr. Spears truly had the best interests of his daughter in mind, consistent with his obligation as a fiduciary to elevate his interests, her interests above his own, he would resign today. Facts. I mean, it's true. Everybody else isn't saying, well, no, she needs him there. This isn't what's so smart about this, because I know a lot of people are like, well, why aren't they trying to end the conservatorship right now? No, they want to get control of it first with people who actually would run a conservatorship on the up and up, so they can actually figure out, all right, how does this machine work? At least that's my way of looking at this. I think this is a really smart way, because it's not an immediate get me out, in which case they got to do medical record. Why was she? No. We are only focusing on one person who clearly does not have the best interests. We need him out. Then we'll tackle the rest of things of should be. And I think it's really smart doing it brick by brick and eliminating the first man who's clearly out there doing some sketchy stuff right now. I'm assuming trying to cover things up, shred. Who knows what could be happening behind the scenes. If he fails to resign today and instead chooses to contest the pending petition, he is on notice that in addition to acting adversely to his daughter's best interests, he also may well be liable for attorney's fees. Again, he knows that's going to hurt Jamie, knowing that there's no more playing around here, Jamie. You've spent your daughter's last dime, enough is enough. And I do believe he's been saving up a lot of this just in case this happened. Notice this, the house he sold and got permission to sell her house to him. He says that I'll get into this later. He says that property isn't making money, but he uses it as a warehouse to hold all of the most expensive memorabilia and things of her career. Sounds like that property might be worth money now. Let's make it the Britney Museum. Let's make that actually profitable instead of just being a rundown house that's your storage locker. The things this man has done that's going to be coming unfold. Anybody who was out there saying, "Yeah, we don't know, we should," you're all gonna feel very stupid. So here we go. In short, although a 2-month wait for hearing may not seem significant in the extent of 13 years, Mr. Spears should not be forced. Sorry, Miss Spears. It is really annoying how they do that. I know others are complaining about the way that's written. Miss Spears, that surprise witness, also I've been paying attention to. It gave me some insight. It's very annoying. Call her Jamie and Britney so we can all understand what you're talking about. Britney should not be forced to continue to feel traumatized, lose sleep, and suffer further. Every day matters. Continuing Miss Spears, Britney continues to suffer ongoing harm each day. He remains in place emotionally, psychologically, and financially. Now, this is the financial part is where things get interesting. Now, this is where they're starting to like peel back and spill a little bit of tea here. They're like, oh, this onion is just getting, peeled. We got so many layers to uncover and research and find out what happened. But let's throw a couple little things out there for the movement to react to everyone to react to realize we're not effing around. We're keeping tabs. We're keeping receipts. So first of all, they're saying financially it's a problem because she won't work until he's gone. And that's going to cost the estate huge amounts of money. It could potentially deprive the estate of millions of dollars. Further impacts her well-being. She's unable to pursue her career and her life's passion without feeling suffocated by her father's oppressive oversight and micromanagement. So much evidence of that. So that's completely fair to say. Finally, there has been evident dissipation of assets of Miss Spears' estate, and that dissipation is ongoing. As referenced in the petition, Jamie has paid multiple teams of expensive attorneys to represent him in the conservatorship, contrary to the wishes of Britney. Jamie's litigation counsel alone seeks compensation from Britney of $1.3 something million in attorney's fees, including a shocking and inexplicable $541,000 for media matters. Mr. Spears has also enriched himself at the expense of his daughter, reaping millions of dollars from her services as a performer, in addition to paying himself $16,000 per month from Britney's estate. That's $2,000 more than what he allotted for Britney to get paid. Plus, he got $2,000 for his office expenses, as if he didn't have enough money there to pay for the office expenses. He should get paid the same as Britney, right? That seems fair for all the work he does. These spendthrift ways are particularly problematic when contrasted with the stringent, absolutely microscopic control Mr. Spears has exerted over his daughter, evidently since her childhood and continuing through today. Mr. Spears objected to his daughter's wish in late July to take a short vacation, disapproving of the expenditure that would have come from his daughter's own hard-earned money. Think of that for a second. Didn't want her to go on a short break to Hawaii. No, her mental. She's too mental, guys. She's got too many conditions to go on vacation. She must stay home, locked in her house, and work. I'm sorry, that's just too costly. I can't afford a trip to. We can't afford the vacation right now, Brittany. Sorry. I need to save more money, and so do you. And you need to go back to work. In fact, well, vacation maybe next year. I mean, it's shocking to me. The mere objection to his adult daughter taking a brief, well-earned vacation at this point in her life, while other funds are lavishly expended, underscores why suspension and ultimately removal should not wait. I mean, can we get a hallelujah? Can we get some round of applause? Anybody else who's watching with me? I mean, facts. Facts. It's so encouraging to see somebody finally with her best interests out there trying to stomp out these leeches. Now, here's where it gets real juicy, guys. Mr. Spears appears to have at least grossly overpaid Miss Spears's former business manager, TriStar Sports Entertainment, TriStar, allowing it to extract an exorbitant sum of money from the estate without Britney's actual consent. For example, December, Mr. Spears inexplicably approved a payment to TriStar in excess of $300,000 above the approximate $200,000 that was supposedly payable to TriStar at the time. This $300,000 payment was not due to any extra duties or work performed by TriStar. To the contrary, for whatever reason, Mr. Spears complied with TriStar's request for a $500,000 payment from the estate as a floor. More problematically, this payment was sought and paid despite Britney's indefinite early 2019 hiatus. That is, rather than negotiating a new, less lucrative agreement as a result of Ms. Spears' hiatus or moving Mr. Spears' business manager elsewhere, Mr. Spears allowed TriStar to siphon more than twice Britney's annual allowance out of her estate. While use the word siphon because, guys, they know what we know. If you're a hardcore Free Britney fan, you know that they are finally starting to put that microscope up to Miss Lou Taylor, who is the TriStar principal, who many have accused of some shady options, who's very litigious, Lou. Haven't said anything against you. I don't know you. I don't know you, Lou. You seem kind of shady to me, but, you know, what do I know? Just allegations, just stuff I read. Don't listen to what I say, guys. I'm not an expert here. I'm just reading you the news. I mean, this is really just entertainment, actually, if you consider it. So anyway, Lou Taylor, our eyes are on you after all the amazing stuff you've done. More on her later. Stay tuned. But anyway, that's who Lou Taylor runs TriStar. Which, as it says here in the bottom, I'm not making anything up here. So they paid them. I love that, siphon more than twice what Miss Spears' annual allowance was out of her estate while she was not even working. When cast even in the most benign light, this decision prioritized TriStar's interests and those of its principals over Miss Spears' interests, in contravention of Jamie's fiduciary obligations and responsibility as a conservator to elevate Miss Spears' Britney's best interests over his decade of those others in his circle. An investigation is warranted, but it can only commence fully once Jamie is removed. So they're warning them. They're like, dude, you're not getting away with this. We're following the money. We're following all of it. And you guys have not been very organized. There's a lot of questions you're going to have to justify and expenses you're going to justify. So good luck. Yeah, go ahead, shred that stuff. That'll be easy to explain later, Jamie and Lou. Look forward to it. A conservatorship should not be a last... A conservatorship should be a last resort designed to benefit the conservatee rather than a mechanism designed to serve as a tool for the enrichment of third parties. It is apparent that this conservatorship has allowed would-be influencers to take control of the estate and exploit Miss Spears, often for their own benefit. The suspension and ultimate removal of Mr. Spears will be the first step towards rectifying this abuse. Now it should be said, this is from the Ronan Farrow article, which if you haven't read, what are you waiting for? Lou has denied, the allegations have been denied by TriStar, and further investigation is warranted before conclusions are reached. The exploitation of Miss Spears and the presumption that Britney Spears' brand is what needs protection is more than troubling. It also flies in the face of legislative and judicial intent in the probate court to serve the conservatee's best interests. So, Lou Taylor, we don't know. A lot of people don't know about you, but I suspect more and more people are going to start to learn about you, TriStar, and your dealings. So, look, if you got nothing to hide, hopefully you got nothing to hide. It'd be weird you're not just out there sort of defending yourself. That's usually what an innocent person does, right? They're out there defending themselves, not hiding, not blocking, not just suing people. Usually they're out there like, oh, no, misunderstanding. Here's my receipts. I look forward to seeing your receipts, Lou Taylor. Really, really do, because you seem like such a straight shooter. Clearly, Britney was lying when she said you showed up to her house to perform a gay exorcism. Yeah, guys, stay tuned. Allegedly, it's my new tagline here on this channel. Allegedly, guys. You guys getting it now? Take a shot every time I say allegedly. And the court cannot grant this application due to calendar constraints. The court should nonetheless suspend Mr. Spears' powers immediately because further delay in his removal would not be in the best interest of the conservatee. You guys are getting the gist, right? We respectfully submit that ongoing loss and injury to Miss Spears and her estate to Britney are more than sufficient for the court to order Jamie's suspension now, regardless of when the hearing or removal occurs. Miss Britney has already identified an eminently qualified conservator, nominated him to replace Jamie as conservator of the state, and he is ready and willing to begin his duties with the sole focus of acting in the best interest of Britney's, consistent with the conservator's financial fiduciary duties. And then they just go in. There's a lot of just declaration, typical legal mumbo jumbo here at the end. So there you go. You get the big gist. But the two headlines here: she wouldn't allow the attorney, and this financial final acknowledgement of so many conspiracy theories that we were, guys. Well, guess we weren't that crazy, huh? Her own lawyer's now going to try and open up those cans of worms. I can't wait. I can't wait to educate you on some of this stuff. Who is Lou Taylor? Lou, call in. Open invite if you'd like to clarify anything. Always open. Anybody who wants to have to clarify themselves. Please give me a heads up there. You can reach me all on social media if you have insight or scoops or anything. Britney, anybody who wants to come forward with information, I will be here to hear it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will be live tonight, so don't forget. We'll touch upon this and some other stuff. We'll hang out. Just come join the community. We'll have a lot to say. I appreciate all you guys who've been watching and subscribing. I hope you'll check out all my videos, not just the Britney stuff. It helps the channel, everything going if you guys click on it. So if you missed some, go check them out. In the meanwhile, thank you guys so much for staying tuned. So much more coming. This is good news, people. It's happening. Free Britney.